That Washington football team is really fucking good.
Everything we do is going to be about winning. Okay, we're going to learn to do things the right way, and that's the only way we're going to do them. Because if it doesn't help us, we're not doing it, man. That's just as simple as it gets. Win the Super Bowl. That's I mean it, too. You know, one of the things that the only reason you become a head coach in this league, in my opinion, is to win. That's it. That's the bottom line. If you do it for any other reason, you're wrong.
Hey, Washington football fans, welcome back. Whew, okay. That was close. Way closer than it should have been. And we only won because all the little things broke our way. That said, everything breaking our way wouldn't have mattered at all if our players didn't gut it out and play tough for a full 60 minutes. I know that sounds cliche, but we just wanted it more. I know the Giants made a lot of mistakes, but we took advantage of them. A huge part of that win was Taylor Heinicke having the perfect reaction to making a bad play late. He didn't hang his head and feel defeated. He was pissed. He wanted to get the ball back in his hands so that he could make up for it. He's not the guy that wants to be making excuses for a bad play in the post-game interview. He's the guy that wants to make up for the bad play with 2 good plays, 10 good plays. He wants to make up for it. And I think our offense looks hugely improved with Taylor Heinicke. Heinicke is a huge boost, and he's building more and more chemistry with his playmaker. At the same time, he's building on his experience as a quarterback as a whole. I think if he stays healthy, he can definitely be a guy that can shock a lot of people. Along with Heinicke getting that experience and growing as a player, we also had Scott Turner actually making some slick calls that showed off that he can get us down the field with his brain. You know, not just leaning on our players, just being better. He showed that, he can scheme some things. He can be tricky. He can get us down the field with his brain. And that's another huge part of this offense getting better. Offensively, all our weapons are looking the part. I think we need to get them more involved, some of them, but Terry, Gibson, Logan, Diami had a nice catch. McKissick had a nice catch. Humphreys had a great catch there at the sidelines that really helped us out there at the end. Even Ricky Seals-Jones, who I'm not personally a huge fan of, had an amazing touchdown catch. They're all winning matchups. And Heinicke, he's making mostly good decisions. Like, this isn't a guy that has a lot of starting experience. He's making a lot of good decisions out there. And he's going to be better with more experience. And he's getting the ball where it needs to be. He'll also get better at that with, as his chemistry builds with his receivers. He's going to put the ball where they like it, where it needs to be. And most importantly, he's out there giving our guys a chance to make plays. He's putting it up and letting them get it. He's not doing it in a too risky of a way. He's doing it very smartly. In the offseason, Heinicke took almost exclusively second team reps. So he now has a chance to build chemistry and boost this offense to a very competitive level. I had some crazy projections before the season, maybe even before Fitzpatrick got here, saying that Heinicke could be our Kurt Warner. Now, those are some crazy, huge, and legendary shoes to fill. I know. But, because of that, I let everybody else beat me down. Beat that crazy expectation out of me in the off season with Fitzpatrick getting, all the hype from the team. And I let everybody kind of like, come on, man. But it's back. I'm feeling it. Taylor is looking better in every game he plays. Taylor has that big playability that, we were hoping for out of Fitzpatrick. And he's a guy that plays his best under pressure. He didn't win the job because he's not a practice guy. He's a guy that needs to be out there under the lights to thrive. And thrive he does. Excuse me. This is all going to get even better with more experience. Like, having a quarterback that plays better under pressure is huge. And when he learns to execute more consistently, it's going to be great. Heinicke's mobility is a huge boost, helping our offensive line a lot of the time. But sometimes actually he's hurt the offensive line, because I don't want to make the offensive line seem that bad. Like, I think they're doing a good job. There's a couple times where Heinicke not climbing into the pocket hurt that line too. So once he figures out, how to use his offensive line, it's going to make the offensive line look even better. And Taylor and Scott Turner are going to be able to grow this offense together. And I think this offense is going to be like really serious when we get all these weapons moving more fluidly. When we get Curtis Samuels back, that's going to be a huge, huge boost. And, I mean, it's got me really excited about that. But on to the elephant in the room. This defense is off to a rough start. It's not at all playing up to its potential. Now, I'm not worried about our D-line as much as some people are. We started off kind of slow last year. And we really didn't start to click last year until like mid-season. But for all this talk about, how tough our schedule is this year, and it is very, very tough. Last year we started out, sure we got the Eagles out of the way early, but then we had the Cardinals, who, even though they didn't do great, they still, they had Nuke and they had Kyler Murray. That's just tough to go against. And then we went from them straight to the Ravens. We had to deal with Lamar Jackson. And then the Browns on the come up. And then the Rams. Like, that ain't no walk in the park. Like, that lineup wasn't no walk in the park starting out. But I have complete faith that this defensive line will get rolling a lot sooner than it did last year. In this game, we started off great with a lot of pressure in the beginning, and it just faded. And I think it falls exactly to the same thing I've been harping on since I started this channel. The linebacker level. The play calling in the secondary ain't helping either. But the D line comes out and it's getting pressure only to have drives extended from the same old. And that shit's gotta be demoralizing. I think we see a little bit in there, I think we see that a little bit in their play. Like, almost like they're giving up a bit. And maybe they're not trying as hard because they feel like, our linebackers are just going to screw this up anyway. Like, Sure, they need to get out of that. They need to be giving us our all every play. And Jack Del Rio needs to help them build up some confidence, in the guys behind them. They need to have confidence. I think the cornerbacks need to play up more. They need to be more physical. So all these underneath passes to beat our pressure are just gimmies right now. And we just need to be more physical there so that the defensive line can play hard and help the pass rush get home. I really think it'll get better. I think Del Rio will figure it out. And I still think we have all the talent in the secondary. And I might be sounding like a bit of a broken record here, but the lack of good linebacker play, coupled now with too much space from the secondary, is just crushing this defense. Too much space from the corners. I think we still look a little rough at safety also. They need the cornerbacks playing closer with safety help over the top, really, to help this line, feel more confident and help mask that horrible linebacker play. Like, sure, Jamin Davis made a stop in this game, but, it was him in coverage where he should be. He should be playing weak side linebacker. He shouldn't be in the middle. Like, excuse me. I know, I just think we need to address the linebacker position. And as a team as a whole, I know a lot of fans out there have no confidence in Heinicke at all as a possible franchise quarterback. And, you should be skeptical. He's only started 2 full games now, played in 4. But I think he's definitely shown that he has the potential in that time. Like, just his playmaking ability, his moxie. I think he has that potential, guys. I just really do. And I think how the quarterback draft class is kind of looking out the gate in college. If Taylor can continue to play at a high level and improve, given his big play and, big play ability, gonna get this high pressure trait. If Scott and Ron start to gain some confidence in him, maybe they could look to trade, not their first round pick, but maybe they can look to trade away for, some players that could really cover up our weaknesses, The weaknesses in the defense. The weaknesses that are bringing our defense down. I think this offense is looking pretty good out of the gate with Heinicke. And I think we can expect it to boom even more with reps and getting Curtis Samuel back. Honestly, I think if Taylor Heinicke had started this season, if he'd got those first team reps, if he'd have been the starter, if he'd have started the game against the Chargers, he'd have made up for that 4 points. We'd be 2-0 right now. I really believe that. You pair this offense that we got going right now, it's pretty good, with our defense getting 75-80% of what we expected out of it. If we get 75 to 80% out of the defense that we expected to get, we'll be dangerous. This offense, with that, will be dangerous. We just need to get this defense the help it needs so that all our talent and potential isn't wasted because of this gaping hole we have at linebacker. Now, I think we need to take care of that via trade. There are some teams that already might be pulling a ripcord on the season. It's coming out the gate. Like, I don't know how the Jags are feeling. Maybe, going back to that C.J. Henderson trade rumor, because he's actually looking decent. Maybe going back to that, maybe that helps. maybe a ton of the linebackers that I had mentioned in previous videos. That's definitely where we need to go. Whether we go to practice squads to pull off guys like Shaquille Griffith, that would be a huge boost. Or the Falcons, man. The Falcons got to know that it's not looking good. Maybe we send them, a second round pick for Deion Jones. Maybe that's something that could happen. Maybe we could trade for any number of linebackers out there that could be a huge boost. I don't know, man. I just think that we need to take the steps so that both the offense and the defense are, what we expect them to be. Right now, offense is kind of outshining a little bit of what people thought. That's great. But our defense was supposed to be the backbone of this team. And it's really just bleeding out from a massive hole at the linebacker position. And we need to fix that. I don't think we're going to be able to do it with the personnel we have. Maybe, Jack Del Rio can scheme things up a little more, in the nickel and get it working better. But I just really think we need a lot of help at linebacker. So, yeah, stoked about the win. And actually seeing what happened to the Bills coming out against the Steelers. If our defense can step up and be who they're supposed to be, they can definitely get the kind of results that the Steelers got versus the Bills. And if this offense under Taylor Heinicke continues to play the way it's playing and getting a little better every time, I think, I honestly from the beginning thought that the Bills would just blow us away. And even with, the way our defense is looking now, I understand our defense still has that potential. So that mixed with what we're getting out of the offense, I don't think the Bills game is as far out of reach as I thought it was before the season. That was one of the games I just chalked up as a straight up loss. But now I'm like, maybe. I know we lost to the Chargers, but maybe we can get the Bills. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment down below. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and just let me know. What do you think is going on? Is this offense, too good to be true? Too good to be true? Is Taylor Heinicke a franchise quarterback? What the hell is wrong with our defense? Just let me know what you think. And if you watch this, guys, I love y'all. Peace.